Good afternoon. My name is Kristen Gebhardt, and I am here to um, essentially propose a mobile learning implementation strategy at The Ohio State University. So I'm going to go ahead and start off with just a brief outline here. And what we're basing this implementation strategy on is a 7-step method. So that's investigating, scoping, planning, prepping for implementation, rolling out, learning and teaching, and evaluating and adjusting. So we'll start with step 1, which is investigation of mobile learning at OSU. And this is kind of the why, the what, and the how of mobile learning here. So the whys. Why do we want to implement a mobile learning strategy at Ohio State? Why do we want to infuse mobile learning and cloud computing into teaching and learning? And there are a lot of reasons for this. The most obvious of which is efficiency. So any kind of mobile learning or cloud computing serves to increase the efficiency of what we're doing. It gives options for other types of teaching, other types of learning, and it really opens the door for more creative teaching and learning and really for innovation, which is what Ohio State University is really all about. It does allow for some cost savings once the initial infrastructure has been built and courses have been built and people get trained. It does end up eventually with a cost savings. And then meeting the students where they are. So rather than expecting the students to kind of learn at our style, the style of the instructor, meeting them where they are with mobile computing, with cloud computing, and really trying to cater to what it is that they want out of a higher education experience. And then the what. So what kinds of things will we need to make this possible? Obviously access to mobile apps, space in the cloud, so space to store things, IT support, and this is going to be in all departments, not just at the university level, but in each and every department that will be implementing this strategy. There's going to be an obvious adjustment in the instructor's approach to the coursework, and then university-wide buy-in in order to make this a true initiative that has an impact. And the how, and these are kind of amorphous right now, but changing the approach to teaching and learning, a slow but steady implementation, and then using evaluation to kind of decipher what is and isn't working. So things like metrics on websites and apps, student evaluation of instructors or SEIs, and then instructor evaluation and feedback. Step 2 is scoping, which is really where we talk about who are the stakeholders, what are the goals, and what is the current professional readiness to do this at Ohio State. So we'll start with the core stakeholders. And from my perspective, the stakeholders are the students, the instructors, the administration, and then the community and the workforce in which our students are going out and being global citizens after graduation. And I do truly believe that each of these stakeholders has an equal investment in mobile learning and cloud computing at Ohio State. Some of the goals for the strategic implementation of mobile learning would be implement mobile learning in at least one course in each of the 15 colleges at Ohio State. There would be an expectation that SEIs for each class in which mobile learning was used would increase positively. 3, instructor feedback should reflect a positive experience for the instructor in teaching the course. And 4, a measurable cost savings will be achieved after the 5-year pilot. So who's going to participate? I briefly mentioned this before, but it's going to be ideally one course will be developed that implements mobile learning and cloud computing in a marked way. One course from each of the 16 colleges now that exist at Ohio State, and those are listed off here. So I'll let you go ahead and read those. And then we're going to talk about professional readiness. So, from my perspective, professional readiness will initially be assessed based on the initial evaluation of instruction. So before we go ahead and implement this, there'll actually be an initial evaluation of instruction on the course that we plan to pilot this with. So instructors are going to volunteer to participate in this pilot study. Again, there's going to be an initial evaluation of their instruction based on past SEIs. And their readiness to implement this is going to be based on how they were instructing courses in the past. If they were already infusing some mobile learning or some cloud computing or some kind of educational technology tools, their readiness will be a little bit higher than someone who hasn't implemented any technology at all. And implementation and participants will hopefully expand as time progresses. So we'll move through these first 15 pilots over a 5-year period, and if we find that it does increase efficiency, it does create a cost savings, and it does produce better outcomes for students and instructors, then I think that the implementation strategy will kind of expand and the scope will definitely get bigger. Step 3 is planning. So how are we going to implement and what resources are we going to need, or do we already have? So what's already in place? At Ohio State, we already have Buckeye Box, which is a cloud storage program. Theoretically, every student and every instructor and staff member at Ohio State have access to this, but it's not as widely used as it could be. But this is something that we do already have in place, at least at a minimal level. We do have an app, and the app is integrated into a lot of different things at Ohio State, including Carmen, which is our current LMS. So use of the OSU app as leverage is definitely helpful. Computer labs, so we have computer labs in 18 of the libraries on campus that have physical computers that can be used for the cloud computing portion of the learning, and then digital unions, which provide students with kind of different options for using technology that include different programs that they might not have access to outside of their union. It provides them access to staff members who help them use those programs, and it also provides them to access to things like tablets, iPads that they can rent out. And then there's discounted pricing on tablets, laptops, etc. through Tech Hub, which is the technology store at Ohio State. They do have contracts with companies like Apple, HP, Dell, where we can get discounted products for our students to be able to utilize this technology effectively in the classroom. So what needs to be done? I think we do need to take a really close look at students who don't have devices already. So if we could provide devices for students who can provide documentation that they don't have a device and or cannot financially afford to purchase a device, I think that we could use some of our existing relationships with companies like Apple, Dell, HP to provide those students who can provide documentation that this is going to provide them with a hardship devices so that they can utilize those throughout the course. We need to work with Buckeye Box to do a few things. So right now we need to increase the space that we currently have on the cloud, which will require an investment financially initially. Provide a secure and local backup of the data. Right now, if anything were to get lost from Buckeye Box, the backup isn't a local backup, it's actually through Box, so we have to go through that company. So having a local backup would just make things a little bit more efficient. And provide access to all students. So this is really a matter of communicating the fact that this service exists, which will be done in the course itself. And then work with ODEE, which is the Office of Distance Education and E-Learning at Ohio State, to develop a social media and acceptable use policy. And it's not just developing that policy in general, but developing a policy that's specific to mobile and cloud-based courses. And then provide workshops and training to instructors who volunteer to teach pilot courses. These workshops should really focus on the resources that already exist and that are free at Ohio State, such as the u.osu.edu platform, iTunes U, the use of Buckeye Box, and the use of the OSU app, and again, really how to leverage that app to really infuse mobile learning and to infuse cloud computing in their classroom. So here are some of the kind of timeline benchmarks that I'd like to achieve with this implementation strategy. So one is going to be within 5 years, which is the course of the pilot, each college will have, at minimum, one mobile or cloud-based course in existence. The goal is that courses will be onboarded at a rate of 3 per year. This is to allow for the proper distribution of resources, whether that be instructors, properly trained instructors, or actual devices. We don't want to force this or do this too quickly. We want to make sure that we're doing it right, rather than just pushing it out. In terms of evaluation, we want app and site metrics to be analyzed 3 times per semester, and this is just going to really provide a continuous assessment of how things are going, so that if something is going awry and it's very obvious that something isn't working, we'll know that because we are doing some analyzing 3 times per semester. SEIs, student evaluation of instructors, will continue to be completed at the end of the semester. So really our hope with these is that they at least stay the same, but really hopefully increase for the same course after the course infuses this mobile learning or cloud computing technology. Feedback will also be solicited from faculty members who are teaching the courses, and this is going to be done 3 times per semester on the same schedule as the analytics. So along with the metrics and the analytics, we're also getting feedback from the faculty who are teaching the courses about how it is to teach the course and how they think their students are responding to the course. And then professional development for faculty, which will begin 6 months prior to implementation. So steps 4, 5, and 6 is really just the doing and the implementing of the program. So preparing implementation, rolling out the program, and then continuing the program from course to course. So autumn 2016, this is really the goal semester for preparing the first group of instructors. And this semester, it's only going to be preparation for instructors. We want a full 6 months, 4 to 6 months of preparation, of workshops, of intensive training, and really trying to change the perspective that the instructor is coming at the course with prior to them teaching the course in this manner. In that time, ODEE, Office of Distance Education and E-Learning, and each college will prepare press releases which details their plans for mobile computing integration, and these will go out on each of the colleges and ODEE's websites, as well as social media for each of these different departments as well. Spring of 17, the first 3 courses are going to be rolled out, and instructor prep cycle continues. So after that first semester of training occurs, spring of 17, which is the very next semester, we'll start rolling out the first 3 courses. And we'll allow those to run for 2 semesters. And we'll continue to prepare instructors who will begin the next cycle in spring of 2018 with 3 new courses to prepare them, to get them through the workshops. So we'll kind of be running 2 courses at that point. We'll be running the course where the actual classes are being rolled out. We'll be running another course where we're preparing instructors for the next set of rollout the next year. This is going to continue for 5 years. And in spring of 2021, the last 3 pilot courses will end, and evaluation and assessment of the program will begin. And then we really move into the last step, which is step 7, and the evaluation piece, which is it worth it? Is it worth it to implement mobile learning? Are we getting the results that we think we're going to get? Is it really helping anything? So again, part of the evaluation process are the periodic checks that we're going to be doing throughout the semester to ensure that there's forward movement,